Good day, Kavibal, and welcome to our PPST Domain 6 Community Linkages and Professional Engagement webinar series. For the discussion today, the topic will be on establishment of learning environments that are responsive to community context. Before we begin, take note of the following reminders. Make sure you are registered to the webinar to have your e-certificate of participation. Visit certificate.vibalgroup.com to generate your proof of attendance. Place your questions in the comment box allotted during the session and they will be addressed by our speaker later on. Share the video using hashtag LearnAs1PH as our official hashtag to our Vibal webinars. Experience learning. Ka-Vibal? And now, to proceed with our webinar this afternoon, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our distinguished speaker today. He is a consultant and evaluator for K-12 Philippine Basic Education, the curriculum and academic consultant of Sisters of Mary. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Brother Roderick M. Aguirre.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much again for tuning in to the Vibal Vibal webinar. Again, someone's calling me right now, And I would like to thank everyone, especially for the PAYAC uh, for evaluating our schools. The sisters are married 2 days, a whole day, and I've heard great news about the evaluation, and thank you, Lord, for that. And this afternoon, we're talking about PPST Domain 6, Strand 1, which is all about linkages, community linkages, and professional partnerships. This is one of the areas that a school should be looking into to make sure that our students are maximizing their learning while they're staying at school. We need to look at perspective that learning does not only take place inside the classroom or the four walls of the classroom, or via the online interaction between the teacher and the student, or between the mother or the parent or the primary caregiver and the student. There are a lot of things that we need to consider. May laryngitis po ako nito, pero daldal pa rin po ako. So I need to slow down a little. And my throat is really hurting me a lot. But alas, the show must go on. Anyway, and I'm so excited to share with you what are the things that I have been that I have experienced into looking into how we can ensure that our students are learning beyond the standards set by the curriculum and learning beyond the four walls of the classroom. And that's what we call right now as the community linkages and professional partnerships. And on that note, let me share with you my PowerPoint presentation. And a lot of my administrators, of my co-teachers at the Sisters of Mary are calling me right now. I think they're now ready to share with me the good news, or let's just say news for that. But I think I have to wait for an hour and a half to hear the good news or the news about the result of the PAYA evaluation in our school. And tomorrow, today would be for the boys town. Tomorrow will be for our girls town. So God do help us. Okay. So let me share with you my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, on momento por favor. There we go. So this is still a continuation. This is the second to the last strand of the PPST, or Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. And within it, we have about 7 domains, and each domain have different strands we need to look into. And this is our way of I know it's already November. We just projected that the PPST should be within the October, as a way of celebrating our teachers during the World Teacher World's Month celebration of October. But we see fit that it is an ongoing process of celebrating the efforts and sacrifices that our teachers have been doing, especially during our pandemic right now, and a lot of things that they have been doing to make sure that learning still takes place, with even if there's a distance divide between the learner and the teachers. So you teachers out there, we salute you. Bibal salutes you a lot, and we are here to support you all the way through. Okay. And our topic for this afternoon is specifically on strand 1 of domain 6. The domain 6, again, as explained to you by our facilitator this afternoon, is all about community linkages and professional partnerships. And under that, we have strand 1. So I'll be the first one to introduce domain 6 to all of you. And strand 1 is all about establishment of learning environments that are responsive to the community context. And easily put, this is what we call as after school programs. Sometimes we even extend towards after school programs, like after a school year program, also known as the summer learning programs for our students, where the school links with, have a partnership with the local government, so that some of the students who are having a vacation for 2 months are still ongoing with their personality leadership trainings, either via the spiritual oriented organizations or local government organizations. And that we're going to look at this afternoon, how we can ensure that the schools are linking and having partnerships with the different external stakeholders, so that the learning of our students are extended beyond the school atmosphere and environment. Okay, so for the flow of our discussion for this afternoon, just for us to be clear of what we are to go through, I'll call it agenda, because I would like to make our talk with our webinar for Vibal is more like a dialogue, a sharing of ideas. I know we're not face to face. We're not seeing face to face, but I believe that you are out there and you're listening to me and you're dialoguing with me. Only that it's more of a one-way process. You're the ones listening to yourselves and me listening to myself, and I listening to myself. Nonetheless, I pretend that you are with me in front of me and talking. And hence our discussion for our dialogue for this afternoon is number one, we will start with description importance of PPSC domain 6. Why do we have domain 6 as part of the total development of a professional teacher in the Philippines? And then we will have an indicator of, we will discuss a little indicator of a distinguished teacher practicing PPST domain 6 and strand 1. So at least you would know uh, what are expected of us as professional teachers as far as this domain is concerned. And then we directly proceed to features of a school as the best learning environment for our students. We need to know exactly what makes a school and why is a school very important in society. And on that note, why are educators a pivotal role? Sorry, why are teachers really important in the holistic changes that we would like to happen in our society, in our communities. Okay. And then we proceed to dialogue, asking questions and answering questions based on facts, based on what we're supposed to be doing, and what programs I'll be showing to you, sharing to you what programs that I have been implementing to some schools that I've handled before, and it yielded good results as far as comments from both parents and teachers alike, and even from students who said that their experience in the school beyond the classroom, beyond teacher experience with the classroom and the book, is quite extensive because it was extended out toward the communities. And now they see why they need to learn all of those things in academics because it makes them more responsive, more responsible, and more action oriented towards some of the identified problems or identified areas of the society that they need to look into. Very nice, right? And then afterwards that we will have a little bit of open forum. So if you have questions and comments that you have in mind, do not hesitate to key in your questions and comments on the comments box below. My hands are disappearing in my digital background. Okay, so I look like an alien. Then we'll have a summary and challenges, and I'm quite excited to reach the summary and challenges because I prepared an assessment for you. We're going to identify your personality as a teacher, whether you are within that perspective of being able to become a distinguished teacher practicing strand one. And let's proceed. So the description of medyo may ano dun parang nagbibinata lang dating ano. May tick sa boses. Description and importance of PPST. This is from the document. Again, my memory is fading a lot, and it's a department order that was disseminated 2017, telling all the schools in the Philippines that we need to ensure that our teachers are provided with utmost support to attain all the domains. And the domain number 6 says that it is affirming the role of the teachers in establishing school community partnerships aimed at enriching the learning environment as well as the community's engagement in the educative process. Meaning that the role of the teacher is not just within the classroom, but also linking and having partnerships with the community, first and foremost, the parents, because we need to enlist the support of the family as the immediate society, as the immediate unit of society where where students may possibly, well, not may possibly, but definitely have uh, an idea of a clear application of what they're learning at school. And that's one thing that one area of linkage that the teacher should look into. And I think that's why the Department of Education and our school heads and administrators, both public and private schools, are requesting, I hope it's not forcing, but requesting and enlisting the support of the teachers to enlist and talk to and reach out to the parents, so that the parents will have a more active role in the educative process of their children. At the end of the day, it is one of the responsibilities of the parents to make sure that that there is quality learning happening to their children at school. And then on that note as well, parents have a responsibility with with the educators and the teachers to ensure that our students are able to partake with some of the responsibilities and tasks in the community, because we have to believe that no one is an island, and we live in a society, and in every society every individual has certain tasks to fulfill. And on that note, our students must realize that, so that they become graduates who have a more responsive, active role in our society. Okay? Hindi yung matatalino nga, pero naman hindi naman sila nakakatulong humanap ng solusyon sa lipunan. So, hindi po yung matatalino na mahilig lang po na magkomento sa mga nangyayari sa lipunan, kundi magkomento. Ito po kasi itong natutunan ko po as an educator, and as I was raised and taught in the Jansenian. I'm a Jansenian graduate in elementary, and of course public school graduate in high school. But similarly, same idea that wag kang magreklamo, wag kang makikriticize na wala kang naibibigay na solusyon. I grew up with that perspective that walang gamit ang pagsasalita mo kung wala kang solusyon na sasabihin. Kasi ang mangyayari lang, nagreklamo ka lang. Ngayon, kung meron kang sasabihin at may solusyon ka, then you are a analytic and creative person. So you have a right to say because you have a solution to say or to propose. So tayo mga teachers out there, that's what we want our students to become. Those who are intelligent, who are able to analyze situations in our environment, but they're also able to not just analyze those problems in our society, but also think of better ways to improve our society. Right? It could be, it doesn't have to be really the whole society per se, but it could, help our students start change within themselves, within their room, within their classrooms, within their families, within their subdivision, within their street. It doesn't have to be like the whole Philippines. What is the problem of the whole Philippines? And as the president of the Philippines, how can you change that's huge. We could probably start with changes with oneself, making decisions with oneself, and schedules, decisions every day that they have to face at home. Also, the domain 6 expects teachers to identify or respond to opportunities that link teaching and learning in the classroom to the experiences, interests, and aspirations of the wider school community and other key stakeholders. A good example right now is that we are moving towards a highly digitized or digitalized transactions, meetings, work from home. A lot of changes is happening to the kind of behavior we are having with work in our profession. And I think we are now, whether we like it or not, we need to respond to these changes. And as teachers, we have to equip ourselves with these changes and the skills needed to cope with such changes. Otherwise, we'll be left behind. And the mentor would go that we cannot give what we do not have. How can we help our students learn in this type of platform if we teachers are not able to survive in this type of platform, right? It concerns the importance of teachers understanding and fulfilling their obligations in upholding professional ethics, accountability, and transparency to promote professional and harmonious relationship with learners, parents, schools, and the wider community. But this time we'll just focus more on a more minor perspective of linkage. We will talk about after school, within school, and after school because it's trend one. Now, the quality indicator of a distinguished teacher practicing PPST Domain 1 Strand 1 is that we are able to model exemplary practice and empower colleagues to establish and maintain effective learning environments that are responsive to community context. So, hindi lang po tayo dapat nagtuturo, magaling magturo nating asignatura. Tayo po ay dapat marunong din makipag-collaborate sa ating kapwa guro para makagawa pa tayo ng mas mataas na pamamaraan na mga programa na magpapaigting ng pagkatuto ng ating mga mag-aaral. Aba, ang ganda na ako Filipino. No? For the past few days, I've been trying my best to speak in Filipino. And I think I'm on my way to becoming a real good speaker in Filipino. But I think it's a long way. But nonetheless, I have already started. Daldal ko eh, no? May laryngitis pa to. Okay, features of a school as a best learning for students. So a school, this is what I believe in, okay? As a curriculum consultant, as a curriculum designer, and as a school administrator, this is what I believe in as to our school being an institution, one of the institutions of society. I believe a school is a pattern, systematic, and well organized social system. It's like a microcosm of society, which is an indispensable in the general social system of any society. Its main, its tuning. Wait lang, ang mali yung aking pronoun dyan. All right, that's it. Okay. Its main purpose is one, capture and propagate within it the innovations and changes happening in the society. So the pivotal role of the school as an indispensable element of society is to propagate and continue the best practices, the innovations. Pag sinabi po natin changes, talagang maganda. Kasi hindi pwedeng mag-changes ay it's always should be seen as positive, okay? Like a delusion, all right? And it has to be captured in the school and should be taught to the students so that such change and such innovation is continued on and not forgotten by a certain generation. Because if it's not captured in the school, there's a huge possibility that a certain generation or generations may have forgotten this innovation and therefore they may be the generation who will stop such innovation and such changes. Dumating po tayo sa sa estado ng ating lipunan sa Pilipinas na tayo po ay highly family based. We are highly communal. But what's happening with the Philippines right now is we're becoming little by little. I think you have not observed this, but because of technology and because of the onset of digital technology to the Philippine society, our children are becoming highly indifferent. And this is the indifference is a one behavior that is seen in most children in the United States, that they do not care, that they care more of what they want, but not considering the greater good, whether it is good for others, like basically the family or the community. So dapat po binabalik po natin, hindi po natin tinitingnan ang mga pagbabago na to as something bad, but we need to look into what needs to be preserved. Okay, so we can proceed to changes happening to innovations, but it doesn't mean that as we progress, we sweep away traditions. We sweep away those things that are good. What's good about us as a culture? Okay, and therefore society, I mean the school as a social system, a part of society, needs to identify those things that need to be retained among our students, and I believe that will be the value system. Okay, yung value system ng ating kultura dapat ipasok sa ating school, kagaya ng pagmamano. Dapat siguro ang mga school ngayon po dito sa Luzon, i-continue po natin pagmamano. I think pagmamano is one unique culture, one unique, hindi naman unique po sa Luzon. I think sa buong Pilipinas, pinapractice po naman po ang pagmamano. So, bakit hindi i-propagate po ang pagmamano sa mga schools po natin? Na, ang mga bata nagmamano sa mga teachers, sa mga that would be a good way of making sure that our society, it's a good community context that is integrated in our school. And that's capture and propagate within the innovations and changes happening in our society. Ang paniniwala ko po, mga kapatids na nakikinig po sa atin ngayon, na okay po tayo mag-progress at magbago at mag-umangat. Pero sa ating pag-angat ay hindi po dapat natin kalimutan kung saan tayo nagsimula at kung sino tayo bilang mga Pilipino. Aguirre for president, ha? Okay? All right. And the second most The second most important purpose of a school is effect innovations and changes for the betterment of society. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang po natin kinukontinue ang mga pagbabago na nangyari sa lipunan. Hindi, we are making sure that we are making sure that our students will be the ones to continue changes, but at the same time will also instill new innovations. Innovations naman, pero more innovations, more innovations and more changes for the betterment of society. Okay? So tayo po ang maging catalyst of we propagate what's good and what's good about our culture, and it also promotes innovations among our students. Okay? So the school as an institution of society, okay? Tingnan niyo po ang lipunan natin ang lipunan natin sa Pilipinas. Bawat komunidad po ay palaging mayroong school. Okay? Ang hindi lang po maganda sa nangyayari sa Pilipinas ay ang ating mga schools na yan ay hindi kinukonsidera ng isang lipunan na parte siya ng lipunan. Okay? Dapat titingnan nila yung school namin, ako lumaki kasi ako sa Leyte, sa San Joaquin Palo, Leyte po, na ang school namin ay part ng aming lipunan. Doon kami naglalaro, tapos basta we see it as something, a beacon of hope, a beacon of light for us to realize our dreams. Ganun po ang tingin namin. So, dapat po, na-continue po natin na ganun po dapat ang tingin ng lipunan. Pero habang nagbabago, tumatagal, ang tingin ng komunidad sa school ay gastos. Kailangan bang ipasok ang anak ko sa school na yan? Anong importante ba ng school na yan? O sige, mag-school ka na lang kasi lahat naman, para makapagtrabaho mo kami ng nanay at tatay mo, ay hindi kasi responsibility namin. It's seen as a responsibility. It's seen as a structure that they have no choice but to send their kids there, because everyone is sending their kids there, and it's part of the law. No, we should go beyond that perspective. We have to see that the school is our partner in ensuring that our kids are raised well. We need to also realize that parents may not have the appropriate ability and capability of raising their children to become who they're supposed to be, potentially. So this is one kind of map that it shows that at the centermost part of the community, of any community, be it here in the Philippines or abroad, kasama po doon ang school. Okay, so I cannot imagine, I think I would say for myself that I cannot imagine a society being started on, or a subdivision being started on, without considering a school being put up there. Kasi para sa akin, hanggat may tao, may dapat, may edukasyon. Link po yan. Life and education. Triyan, life, education, and future are linked together. Okay? And on that note, since school is part of the society and one of the institutions of society, therefore it has a culture. And the culture of it should be of the society and the community. Okay? So yung kaya pong ginagawa po natin sa Department of Education K-12 curriculum, and which is basically being encouraged, highly encouraged by the United Nations and by UNICEF. Well, UNICEF is under United Nations, World Bank, and all of those institutions doing a lot of research that standards of education should be contextualized so that our students learn the standards, global standards, world standards, national standards, but they are responding locally. Diba? Thinking globally, acting locally. A culture is composed of beliefs of what is right, wrong, and what is good and what is bad. Okay, so the school should teach our students those perspective belief system. Now, cultures, including school cultures, can be good or bad, leading to human ends or poor ones. Before I proceed, let me drink first water because my throat is already getting dry. Okay. So ito lang pong analogy ko po sa inyo para maintindihan yung ibig sabihin ng cultures, including school cultures, can be good or bad, leading to good human ends or poor ones. If, say, analogy po natin, garbage enters the school or garbage into the school, and then it comes out still garbage, the school is ineffective. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang mga bata pumasok sa school natin, bawal humindi ang school na. Mahihina, walang alam, pero pagkatapos pag-graduate ng bata, wala pa rin alam, walang nangyari sa school. Anong gamit ng school na yan? Because the purpose of the school is to educate. Ay, Karina, sinabi mo natin, is to educate, provide a culture so that the innovations and changes happening in the society is inculcated among our students and carried on. And the second fact, so facet of the purpose of the school as it is an existing institution of society is to promote knowledge and skills among our students that would help them instill more innovations and changes in the society for the betterment of everyone. Diba? So kung ganito, mga bata pumasok ay walang alam, tapos lumbas po walang alam, pumasok mangmang, lumbas mangmang, di bakit ka pa nagtayo ng school dyan? Walang gamit. So it does not serve its purpose. Another perspective, pumasok ang bata matalino. Okay? Pag-graduate ng bata, ganun pa rin, matalino, ganun pa rin siya katalino. It's still ineffective. Kung ano ang capability ng mga bata pagpasok niya, dapat paglabas niya, mas magaling siya. Magaling siyang pumasok sa school, paglabas niya, dapat mas magaling. Pagaya pa, sorry for the eye. Sabi nila, sir, ang school namin magagaling kasi nga lahat po sila pumapasok sa school namin matatalino. Tapos graduate sila matalino pa rin. Wait lang. Di kung matalino pumasok, tapos mga tinulobas, di wala kayong ginawa. Di maswerte kayo dahil ang mga estudyante nyo matatalino at nasasalang nyo. Paano? I would say a better school is say someone in the school that accepts students who with varying abilities and capabilities, but then again, when the students graduate, they are all they are all holistically developed. Yan ang masasabi yung effective. So itong mga to hindi. So pag sinabi yung anak ko matalino na yan, pag-graduate matalino pa rin, hindi, dapat mas matalino. Yan ang effective. So I hope you get to see the analogy there. Okay? Another one perspective I'd like you to look into is that, so kung kuwari, ang merong pumasok sa school ay walang alam, pero winner na lumabas. May alam na lumabas. Tumalino. Nagkaroon ng alam. Okay, walang galang ang bata na pumasok sa school. Kung titingnan po natin sa social, emotional development or learning, paglabas magalang ng bata, mabait na, marunong na. And the school is effective. It was successful in effecting the changes. Okay, happening. That should happen among our students. Another scenario analogy that I would like to look into, ang bata, pumasok naman, may alam na, matalino, may mga ganun yung talagang pinagpagura ng mga magulang mula sa loob ng tiyan hanggang sa pagdating sa kinder, talagang sinubaybayan, binigyan ng lahat ng best practice. Talaga pagpasok sa school, ang katali-talino na parang wala nang ituturo. Pero pagpasok sa school, mas lalong tumalino yung bata. The school is effective. Okay? On that note, bakit nagkaroon po ng ganitong sistema na nag-effect ng school? It's because there is a strong, positive school culture which engages the hearts and minds of children, stretching them intellectually, physically, morally, and socially. So, yung linkages po na yan daw, ang ating community linkages, ang ating strand, ang domain number 6, strand 1, is making sure that the school and the educators make sure and ensure that our students are not just developing intellectually, but also physically, morally, and socially. So we need to look into those aspects. Are all the intellectual, physical, moral, and social needs of our students are taken care of in our subject curricular programs? Sir, hindi po lahat na higit eh. Mostly, very specific to the subject here. Then we should have co-curricular activities, clubs that are linked to the curricular programs. Then we should kulang pa rin sir kasi ang tingin ang napupunta lang doon sa co-curricular programs ay yung magagaling sa subjects na yon. So kung math ay magagaling sa math, science may iro lang sa math. Or they then offer extracurricular programs for interests and talents of students. Okay na, hindi lang po katalinuhan ang ginagamit, kundi ginagamit din po natin ang all other innate capacities of the kids. It could be interest and then talents. So kulang pa po. And then we could have uh, community linkages. Yung sinasabi na natin ng mga after-school programs. And we're gonna discuss that ano yung mga samples na yun later on. I hope you got that. Okay? So, these are to summarize what we have discussed for the first question, okay, that we have talked about in the first question is that we can now surmise that there are four basic purposes of schools. Number one is intellectual purpose. Of course, it is very important that we make our students become intellectual. They have critical thinking skills, metacognitive skills, with metacognitive, all the mental capacities, name all the levels of the Bloomsbury one, they should have that. Okay? Marunong sila isip for themselves. They know how to decide for themselves. Okay? Next, political and civic purposes. They know where to use and how to use their intellectual prowess, their intellectual skills towards improving society via being active politically and exercising their civic responsibilities. Civic responsibilities as a citizen of this country or a member of society. All right. And also, we need also to look into that they contribute to the society's economy. Because if you want some changes to our economy, changes to our society, improve our society, economic economic growth and improvement is pivotal to that purpose. All right. And then finally, social purpose. To be able to work with other people, have a harmonious relationship with others. And it's not just social purpose as into others, but also linked to political and economic, that by working with others, they're able to preserve things that they need to preserve in society. It could be the environment, it could be the surroundings that they believe that has to do with sustainability. So, intellectual pa rin. Papasok pa rin na, kailangan pa rin ng intellectual skills, mental skills, for our graduates to be able to fulfill the other three purpose of the school: political, economic, and social. If we're able to look into make sure that these four aspects are taken care of in our schools, then I think our school is on its way to being one of the best schools in the Philippines, if not the Philippines, in the world. These are standards, by the way, so I'm not making this up. These are the basic purposes of the school. So this is what I say. Ako po itong gumawa ay, this is my statement way back in 2017 during a conference on holistic management. And I said, the task of the school as a microcosm of society is to pass on positive, enduring, and worthwhile cultures that would help learners become empowered citizens of the world who take care of each other, their own environment, and their individual and collective identities. Very profound, huh? Yes. I don't want to expand on this, and I think you got my point here. So, nilagyan ko lang talaga ng positive. We need to look into ano ba talaga dapat. Minsan kasi mas ini-encourage pa natin ang mga parang mas ina-acknowledge pa natin ang mga mali. Halimbawa po, I'm okay with the news that most of our news is towards yung mga may pumatay, nasagasa, and so on so forth. I think we should also be balanced that by doing that we are somehow parang ina-acknowledge pa natin na mas importante pa yung mga pangyayari na yun sa buhay natin kaysa sa mga mabubuting pangyayari sa buhay natin. Kaya sana ang ating news, ang ating society magkaroon po ng pagbabago sa pag-uusapan na pag-usapan rin naman natin ang mga taong nakagawa ng tama. Hindi yung pag-usapan natin yung mga tao na nakagawa ng mali. Let's celebrate not just people let's celebrate those people who have been doing good things for the society, but let us try to help reform the people, okay, our students, reform of the things they have not done well. So mas importante po ang intervention than providing certain punishments. So I would go for prevention, okay, than curative. Now, let's proceed to our dialogue. Discussion tayo ngayon ha. Question by question ha. Kasi madami kong sinabi po yun, wala pa akong dialogue doon ha. Ito na to tayo. Ito na to talaga. Ito na to. Okay, so let's start with question number 1. So let me monitor my time because I really would like to be able to finish on time. What are the indicators of a good learning environment that's conducive to community context? How would we know that our school are doing its best, or it's a school that is conducive to the learning of our students, but at the same time approximating the purpose of the school, the two major purpose of the school, which is to continue on the innovations and changes happening in society, and to effect among our students that thirst and curiosity and that drive to make innovations, to make more innovations and changes to the society for the betterment of everyone. That's for the question, this question. Okay, so these are the things that we need to look into whether our school is actually responsive to the community context. Number one, it will always be number one, would be the teacher expectations. All right. The teacher get across to students a can-do attitude about learning. Anong ibig sabihin ng can-do ng teacher's expectations? Ibig sabihin po daw neto, si teacher po ang dapat ng link in the learning process in terms of domain 6 of making sure that our students see the importance of their learning in their daily lives is that the teacher is the transition, okay, or the vehicle for students to understand that what they are learning at school is something that they are needed for them to survive, or essential information or essential knowledge and essential skills for them to have a better daily daily life. Si teacher yun. So pag nagturo daw si teacher, ituturo daw niya ang knowledge, but it has to be highly demonstrative in a way. Pag sinabi natin demonstrative, tinuturo niya ang knowledge with skills and ethics and values na ito ang dapat mong matutunan, pero ito dapat ang gamit mo sa knowledge niyan sa ganito mga sitwasyon sa buhay mo. So can do. It answers the question that why should I learn this? The question of students, why should I learn this? Is this important in my life? If it's relevant in my life right now, will I be able to use that information to help myself improve, not just here in school, but basically who I am at home and in my society? Yon ang mga tanong na dapat masagot, sir. Hindi, itunuturo lang natin ang knowledge, but not for the sake of making sure that they imbibe the necessary knowledge and skills and attitudes and values and ethics to become desirable, holistic individuals. It starts with being an individual first before becoming a member. I do believe na tulungan muna natin ang bata, ang mga estudyante natin na makilala nila ang sarili nila, makita ang bawat kalakasan nila bago sila makatulong sa iba. Yung dating nating paniniwala na okay, tulong ka agad sa ibang tao. Wait, tulungan mo muna ang sarili mo na mag-improve, na maging mahusay. Tapos pag na-reach mo na yon ang pinnacle of being good, of being the best, being an expert of what you do, of you strive to be, that's when you're able to help others. Yan dapat si teacher. The teacher is a perfect epitome of that perspective that if I'm a math teacher, I'm not just a math teacher, I'm also a math teacher who helps the society and say, looking into appropriateness of the local budget. We are teachers. We are supposed to be looking into these things. Diba? Science teacher ako. Sinasabi ko ba anong dapat na itanim ng mga puno base sa uri ng klima na meron tayo sa ating lugar, base sa kind of soil that we have here, the kind of organisms that we have, the kind of ecosystem that we have here, di ba? Kasi hindi dapat ka-plant-plant lang ng mga halaman o pag-introduce ng mga species kasi it would probably disrupt the society. Science teachers should be teaching this concept, but at the same time are using their knowledge as a teacher and as an expert of the subject area to some of the happenings in society. Baka mga teacher natin, teacher lang. Diba? Next is teacher collaboration. I think I know you know this already, and I'm not going to elaborate this so much. And you know this, and I hope you've been doing this. This is linked to the K to 12 design, which is spiral progression, that we go through curriculum mapping, horizontal and vertical. So this is more of a horizontal. Okay, I'm thinking of ways collaborating with other teachers with different expertise and different specialization so that we are able to work and synergize our efforts to make the learning of our students in the curricular, in the co-curricular, and extracurricular programs holistic. Sometimes, okay, hindi ko sinasabi sa lahat ng pagkakataon sa lahat ng schools. Sometimes, hindi nakikita, hindi nalilink, hindi nalilink ng mga advisors ng bawat subject, advisors ng mga co-curricular programs and student organizations and extracurricular organizations and interest clubs to what they are learning from the subject area. Minsan ang sabi ng mga bata, ay mas okay pa si teacher namin, yung advisor namin, mas okay silang mag-guide. Hindi po natin dapat kinukumpara, hindi po natin in-encourage yung mga estudyante na ganito ang behavior ng advisor sa organization at ganito ang behavior ng teacher sa klase. Kasi mag-iba po ang demands noon. Iba ang behavior, iba ang pedagogical approach, iba yung atake sa pag-deal sa mga bata depende sa klase ng programa sa school. Kung curricular, may standards na sinusunod. So the teacher is bound to uphold the standards. It cannot be compromised. These standards cannot be compromised. Pero pagdating sa co-curricular programs where it's an extension of things that students are learning from the subject but may not necessarily be linked towards the realization of the standards directly, I mean. They have to realize the standards still, but they are not directly like the curricular programs talagang kailangan. Well, the co-curricular is extension of things that may not have been conducively taught in the curricular program. So doon ituturo natin sa co-curricular. Kung ang curricular ay formal, pagdating sa co-curricular, medyo informal ang dating. Okay, medyo informal, ang environment medyo light. Okay. Pagdating na extracurricular naman, siguro becomes more lighter than kasi interest yun, para parehas ko yun. So very communal ang dating. So that's where our teachers should collaborate together to ensure that our students learn things in all of these programs being provided to our students. Unless we need to see whether we have enough co-curricular programs and extracurricular programs to support the other needs of our students. Kasi hindi lahat ng pangailangan ng mga bata ay mamimit o mabibigay ng ating curricular programs. A good example would be leadership, student leadership, followership, being able to socialize, make decisions, make proposals, yung mga ganun. Doon yung mangyayari sa mga organizations. Okay? Third is we have the task orientation. Okay, whether the classes are formal, informal, or curricular, underneath the surface events lies a seriousness of purpose that is communicated to students. Okay, what a good school program, after school program perhaps, or even within school program, curricular or co-curricular program, dapat ipapaturo, sabihin natin sa mga bata na once you enter, you'll have to partake with the responsibilities and tasks. Hindi to laro-laro. Hindi to pwede pag gusto mong pumasok, pero pag ayaw mo na, aalis ka na. Hindi pwedeng ganon. You have to push through. Hindi pwedeng when the tough gets going, you just, boot out or just bail out. No. We have to teach our students that life is like that. Things outside the school will always be like that. It's not always starry night. It's not always happy. It's most of the time, to be honest. When bata ko, ganun tingin ko na life is wonderful, no problems. But when we get older, we get to realize na, okay, the core of life, the core of living is being able to survive and be able to surpass all of the tasks proficiently with the best that we can do. All right? And not shy away from it or to just leave this responsibility hoping that others will take it on to fulfill the responsibilities. We need our students to be better than that. We need our students to know that the assignments that they need to, the tasks that they're given in the curricular programs that they need to finish because they have a grade is similar to having tasks in the co-curricular, enters clubs, sports that they have once they enter. It's a commitment and there's accountability. Okay, that's why it's called task orientation. Next, learning engagement time. The fourth element that makes a school really good is that it takes care of learning engagement time. This characteristic involves the ability of a teacher to get students engaged in academic tasks such as reading or solving math problems or to give them attention on these instructional activities. Ibig sabihin, kanina po ay towards the helping our students see that the connection of their learning from the curricular programs extended to other learning programs of the school outside the classroom. This time is also that a school has a good community linkage or has a good community context, okay? It's because we make our students learn the standards, learn the necessary skills in the subject area. Diba? What's the point of having linkages extending what the students have learned to aspects in society or to different various areas of society or basically some areas of the school or having involvements in the organization in student interest clubs if the necessary skills and the academic skills or the basic skills, the standard that should have been taught in the curricular programs have not been met. Bakit? Anong i-extend ng bata? Anong i-apply ng bata? So it emanates from the curricular programs. So the idea here that we are being thoroughly and explicitly explained to us by this domain is that to link, to extend the knowledge and skills of our students is that to begin with, they are learning all of this in the curricular programs. Very good. Minsan kasi ang mga bata magaling sa sports, magaling na athlete, pero kinakalimutan ang curricular programs. Magaling sa sayaw, sa dance. Pero ang mga teacher, sige lang, hayaan mo lang kasi magaling siya, nagbibigay ng accolade sa school. Oh wait. Kailangan pa rin ng mga best dancers, best singers, na kailangan nila matutunan ang mga knowledge base that is being offered by our curricular programs. So, ang ibig sabihin po nito ng ating community linkages is that to begin with, our curricular programs is rooted. Our curriculum programs is already doing its utmost to provide for the needs of our students. Intellectually, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. That will be the foundation of that. And then extend. What will you extend if there's nothing to begin with? And then behavior management. I think you know that already. So I'm not gonna expound on this. Sabi ko I cannot expound, pero daldal pa naman daldal. I'm laughing at myself. All right. So behavior management means teachers are efficient both in handling discipline problems and in implementing the learning activities. What's being taught here is that ignoring behavioral problems or misbehaviors of our students is not a good way. Dapat tuturuan natin ng mga bata of a discipline within a social context. Hindi pwedeng i-discipline natin ng mga bata. So, hayaan na, someone will take care of that. Or if I ignore it, hopefully they will realize that their behavior is not appropriate. How will they realize if you don't point it out? But pointing out their misbehavior doesn't mean that you'll have to bully them or to violate their right to speech, their right for data privacy. So you need to point out their misbehavior, but not compromise their quality of learning and their access to be able to learn from the subject matter. Do that in meron tayong sinasabi na acceptable ways of dealing with behavior, but ignoring is not the best way. Talking to the child on a more private time and place with witnesses is the best way. Referring it to the best and most licensed, I suppose, most qualified person in the school to deal with such behaviors. I would say your critic of discipline. Kasi guidance counseling it's not really for discipline. It's for helping students have a better behavior, but not for punishing. So G, the counseling, the guidance counselor's office is not for punishment. It is for improvement. It is for guidance. While the prefect of discipline is where it imposes punishments and restrictions of certain behavior. So don't may refer yun. Pero bago mong mag-refer, deal with that as a teacher first in your classroom. Same thing will go for our parents supporting the learning of their children at home right now. Next, the principal. Patay, na-mention po natin. Again, this is from Harvard University, research on of those areas that makes a school good in terms of their community linkages and professionalism, professional partnerships. And that on strand one, it says enhancement of the learning activities and programs in the school that approximates the community context. Kasama po doon ang the principal. Bakit po? Every society will always have a leader. Every nation will always have a leader. And on that note, students need to realize that the principal of the school is someone that they need to look up to, someone that they have to respect, someone that they have to emulate. Emulate. Therefore, the effective principal gains teachers' confidence, clearly communicates to them a vision of what the school should accomplish and how each teacher can contribute toward this end. So the principal is a more of, hindi to ang pinakamatalinong tao sa school. Hindi to ang well, siguro degree has something to say has to do with this, pero hindi naman PhD requirement for the principal, at least units or master's degree. May mga teachers pa nga na mas may doctorate kaysa sa principal. But ang principal po natin, hindi po itong pinakamatalino, pinakamagaling mag-English. Siya po ang may vision, has the leadership skills to inspire, the word, to inspire the teachers to do their best, to go beyond what they can, go beyond their basic responsibilities as teachers, to inspire the students to collaborate with teachers, to inspire the parents, to inspire other stakeholders, external stakeholders, to partake with the responsibility of molding the students to become who are they supposed to be and what they want and what we want them to become. Ang bigat maging principal. Promise. Kaya pag may nag-o-offer sa akin ng principal, ayoko, magtutulong na lang ako sa principal. Until now, I still believe that I am not yet that capable of being the best principal. I don't know if I can lead the teachers or inspire them to become leaders as well. But I'm doing my best. All right, next, the parents. So the parents are treated as key members of the learning team. They're as partners with the professional staff in helping children achieve academic success. Remember that the immediate environment where the students can see immediate application of what they're learning from the schools would be their homes. So it is very imperative that we connect as educators, we connect with the parents so that whatever they're learning, we have the parents as our vanguards in ensuring that what the students are learning are extended at home. Halimbawa, tinuturo natin mga bata na gumamit ng po at opo, pero pagdating sa bahay sa mga magulang, hayaan na, kapag buka mat opo, okay lang, walang problema. Aba, hindi pwede. Dapat kung anong tinuturo natin na kultura, which is desirable for, not just for you as parents, but for the whole society, then dapat ipopropagate pa rin yun as a partner in the educative process of our students. Okay? I think we are now moving towards that. I think one of the many positive effects of pandemic is that now parents and teachers and the school is seeing the greater good of having good connections, good positive relationships between and among them. Okay? So nakikita na. Dati kasi ang mga magulang, especially for the private schools, may tuition fee. So trabaho lahat ng school na yan. Pag ang ugali ng anak ko, pangit ang ugali, hindi nagawa ito. school ang sisisihin o yung teacher ang sisisihin. Pag naging bobo, hindi marunong magbasa, may sa math, teacher ang sisisihin, ang school sisisihin, walang ang mga magulang hindi kasi di na responsibility. Ngayon, nakikita ng mga magulang at nakikita ng mga teacher ay mas lalong natututo ang bata na mayroong support sa teacher at mayroong support sa mga magulang at plus may support sa school plus may support sa community. I think there's no more room for failure if all of these areas of all of these factors are contributing to the holistic development of our students. And finally, we have the school environment. Now, when we say school environment, we're talking about the learning environment. At this moment, we're not saying that the school structure per se. We're looking at approximating the atmosphere of the learning atmosphere of the school at home. So it says that the school has an environment that is calm, safe, pleasant, and orderly is conducive to learning. And therefore, our houses, our community, if it's calm, safe, and pleasant, will be conducive to learning as well. So yun lang naman ang kailangan na students are safe and are able to focus on what they're supposed to focus on study on. Kung sa bahay, hindi natin nagagawa yun. Halimbawa, mga bata ngayon, may module-module na yan, it's becoming part of the TikTok na tatapusin ko lang ang module palagi bago ako mag-TikTok. Ang ginagawa ng mga bata, hindi conducive na sa learning sa bahay kasi nga may nanonood ng TV, maingay yung mga kapatid, and so on and so forth. So dapat the parents and the members of the family and with the orientation coming from the school and the teachers that ma'am, ganito po kasi dapat ang environment natin sa bahay. Pag nagsimula na po from Monday to Friday po, so sana po wala munang television o wala pong ibang distraction sa inyong mga anak pag sila ay nagmo-module. Ganun. Alright? Let's proceed to second to the last question. Okay, what are after-school learning programs? Ayun po tayo. What are the after-school learning programs that intensifies learning of students towards community responsiveness and involvement? Community context. Number one. Okay, there are about 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Tama ba? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lang pala. Okay, 6. Number one is co-curricular activities. Dapat strengthen po natin sa school natin ang mga co-curricular activities. Ano ba ang co-curricular activity for English, for Filipino, for math, for science, and so on and so forth. All the curricular programs that we have, it must have a clear co-curricular program. Okay? Next is we have the extracurricular program. Now, as we define extracurricular program, distinguished from co-curricular programs, if co-curricular program directly emanates from the curricular programs, the extracurricular activities is mostly towards student interest. May selection, okay, based on interest and talents. Okay, extracurricular activities. Saan ibig sabihin po ba, pwede po ba ang mga bata dito sa co-curricular program, meron silang extracurricular activities din? Yes. I would suggest our students have co-curricular activities, but at the same time, they have also extracurricular activities. That's, yun po yung kinalakhan ko eh. I don't know, but ganyan po ang kinalakhan kong education nung ako ay nasa elementary na high school hanggang college. That's why I think I'm highly, how do you call that? Able to survive with many tasks and responsibilities, because the idea there of helping our students take on other learning activities or other learning programs aside from curricular is that as we get older, our responsibilities get compounded. Okay, dumadami ang ating responsibilidad. Dapat ma-realize ng bata na we do not stay simple. We do not stay as an individual with simple responsibilities and with simple tasks. As we get older and as we become immersed with other institutions of society and we become part of the society as individuals and as members of society, we take on lots of responsibilities. We become sons of our parents, we become brothers of our siblings, we become teachers, we become parents, we become what else? In the church. Okay? We become members of the church. Also, kung mayroong mga organizations na member ka, part of the organizations for improvement of the specialization of your discipline. So padagdag ng padagdag. Ang bata daw sa school na hindi sinanay na mayroong ganito maraming responsibilidad, okay, and would easily give up. would definitely, with high possibility, will not would not survive the kind of life that we have in the real society. So ganun daw po ang community context sa school natin. That life becomes compounding. Responsibilities is compounding, are compounding. From simple becoming complex and complex. Padagdag ng padagdag. And gradually introduce them. And if that's how it's done, gradually introduce them from elementary until senior high school, then hindi na makikita na pinaparusahan sila. Okay? Kayo naman mga magulang out there, hindi po pinaparusahan ng mga teachers ng school pag dinadagdag ng maraming responsible mga bata as they grow to the higher grade levels. No, it's just also teaching the students in the community context that that's how life is. Our responsibilities become greater, more compounded as we become older and introduced gradually to the society. Next, enhancement activities. Ibig sabihin, ano pang mga kalakasan ng mga bata na kailangan natin i-continue at i-produce. Kasi minsan ang nakikita lang ng school ay yung mga intervention, ang mga kahinaan ng mga bata. Hindi, yung mga bata na mga bibilis din, dapat tinibigyan natin ng enhancement activities. Kaya po, yung mga bata na magagaling sa mathematics, magagaling sa yun, binibigyan natin ng enhancement programs over and above perhaps the extracurricular activities. Kaya kung extracurricular activities na may enhancement programs here, pwede po. Pero what this indicator is trying to tell us that the school must provide our students with that kind of program enhancement. Now, if we have enhancement programs for our students too, then we should have also intervention and remedial activities for students who are struggling too, or are coping with, are having difficulty coping with the standards. It should be readily available for them. Next would be community engagements. Yung simple man lang na sweeping the streets, kung hindi sweeping the streets, at least man lang proper garbage disposal. Okay, yung mga ganun ba, yung pag may nakita kang basura, pulutin mo na, ilagay sa basurahan. Hindi ko naman basura yan eh. Bahala lang ibang tao, hoping that someone else will do that. Yun ang sinasabi natin, marunong magpuna, pero hindi marunong magsolusyon. Nakita naman yung problema at wala na ibang gumagawa, nasa iyo yan, hindi ikaw na po ang pumulot niyan. Huwag ka naman go-hope na merong ibang gagawa nun. Okay? Yung mga ganun mga simple na community engagements. Okay? And then we have spiritual engagements too. So this would make the sixth all of it. 1, 2, 6 yan. Spiritual engagements. Research showed that social-emotional learning of our students, social and emotional learning of our students are heightened and strengthened if it's based, if it's towards or founded on, rooted on spirituality. We are using the word spirituality because we don't want to use the word religion, because religion is more of a structure than of something that helping our students acquire certain belief systems. Spiritual engagement is helping our students have certain belief to hang on to. Ang tawag nga natin ng iba to ay faith. Okay, so hindi lang po engage yung mga bata sa komunidad, sa bahay, sa lipunan, sa school, pero dapat sa churches or sa mga faith communities din po. Kung whatever religion that you have. Again, ang sabi po natin, you can practice your faith in whatever religion you are comfortable with. So it's the faith that comes first before the religion. That's what we need to teach our students. That it's the belief system that's more important, that could help you become a better person in dealing with other people in your environment and not the institution. So let us not blame the institution. Blame your faith if it's not strong enough to make you a better person. Okay? So the last question is, what is the importance of community linkages and professional development to teaching and learning process? We are now ending our session with this question. But don't worry, mayroon pa akong testing yung mamaya ha. All right. There are about 8 of it. 1, of course, help young people develop strong, positive relationship with adults. Socialization process is very important. Making our students communicate with our students, but with the proper ethics. Na pagkausap nila yung mas nakakatanda, of course, there should be certain courteous expressions that they need to use to communicate, but that doesn't mean that they cannot talk with or converse with adults. Hindi pwedeng sabihin, makipag-usap ka lang sa age group mo. Hindi. We are all in a society. We are with many, with many population, with a populace, with different and varying age groups. So, hindi pwedeng na ang ating kasalamuhan lang po ay age group natin. Merong pagkakataon na kasalamuhan natin mas matanda sa atin o mas bata sa atin. And therefore, dapat marunong po tayo mag-adjust to such type of socialization, to this type of age groups. And not to mention also culture. Next, build on the young person's strengths rather than focus on his or own weaknesses. This is right. We start on what the students are strong on and help them build on using that strength to be able to overcome the weaknesses. No, I don't believe it's overcome, but to help them also acquire strengths in their weaknesses. Kasi hindi pwedeng it will remain as weakness forever. Halimbawa, hindi ka marunong magbasa. Weakness ko po talaga, hindi marunong basa. Okay, asa ka magaling? Magaling po ako sa paggawa ng cartoons. Okay, let's start with watching cartoons and then later on, transition that to reading comics. So, ibig sabihin po, ang magagawa po ng school is look at what are the strengths of our students and then use those strengths to be able to overcome and not compensate, but to overcome their difficulty in acquiring and overcoming the weaknesses and becomes strengths as well. So, kung mahina ka sa math, saan ka magaling? Magaling po ako sa science. O sige, gamitin po natin ang science, pagkagaling mo sa science para mas maintindihan mo ang mathematics. Ganun. Okay. Next, we have provide an environment that helps young people develop positive relationship with peers, working together. Yung sharing our ideas and at the same time partaking with the possibility that there are people with other better ideas, but it doesn't mean that you cannot collaborate with them. Okay? Ayoko na kasi hindi ko naman idea yun. Hindi yun eh. It's not on the who has a better idea. Okay? Hindi yung pagalingan ng ideas. Kung ano ang mas okay at taangkop na idea para masolusyonan ang mga problema sa lipunan o mas makakabuti sa mga mas maraming tao. Hindi yun po ang pagtulungan natin gawin. And that's what we need to teach our students. Just because we have dissenting ideas, just because our ideas are not the same, that doesn't mean that we have to disrespect each other. Different ideas should still cultivate respect. Next, give youth challenges they can rise to. Naalala ko kasi nung sorry po, this is the life that I grew up with. Busy po kami talaga palagi nun sa Leyte. Wala kaming pahinga. Ang aming summer ay parang hindi summer. Pero we didn't think that pagod kami kasi pagkatapos ng aming schooling, we look forward to summer. Kasi yung summer po namin ay we look forward to the youth camp. Meron kaming vicar na youth camp noon. Tapos meron kaming parish lang. At that time, I was not really religious. Okay? I was not hanging on to faith, but I was with people, I was with friends, with other age groups that I was linked with because I can sing and I can dance. I can, parang lyrics po yun. You know, I had talents that they saw that, can help them with the camp. So napapasali ako sa mga camps. And then, nakita ko na there's no idle moment. Walang time na magpahinga. Everything is always productive time. And that's what we want for our students. Everything ginagawa, yung pagtulog. Yeah. I don't know if my connection is okay. All right, let's proceed to the next two. Provide enriching creative activities they can participate in. Okay, yung mga yung planting trees in the society, clean up drive, yung garbage disposal, proper garbage. These are good creative activities. Like it's called creative activities because you're helping students think of solutions, identifying problems, and what solutions are appropriate to address them. That's creative activities. give youth opportunities to develop leadership and decision-making skills, making, identifying problems, and identifying solutions to these problems and acting on the solutions are good decision-making and leadership skills for our students. And finally, the last two will be focused on the developmental needs of young people by nurturing their teens' autonomy. At the same time, the programs lend them guidance. Independence is not what we mean. We need to help our students become independent. On that note, pag sinabi po natin independence and autonomy, turuan po natin silang i-regulate ang kanilang mga behavior through reflections, by having recollections, by having focus group discussions that allows them to see that every individual is different from the other. And once they see that, they need to accept that I am a unique person. It doesn't mean I have to conform to what other people think I should be, but I can be who I am and what I am and be able to contribute still to the betterment of society. All right? And the last one is provide all of these opportunities over the long term. Hindi pwedeng one time lang po ito. The school must see it as a continuous process and not just ngayon lang. Kaya ang curriculum po natin, sa K-12 curriculum, dapat spiral progression. What they learn from one subject, what they can do in one grade level are upgraded to a higher form as they go up to the next grade level. Okay? And again, it should be a collaborative and synergized efforts of all the stakeholders in the school. Of course, kasama po dito ang ating parents. Yeah, parents po talaga ang naka-center ngayon. On the next strand, pupunta po tayo sa ibang mga areas. Alright, on that note, I think this is where I will stop talking. Baka ma-discuss ko po ang other strands. I'm limited only to strand 1. So at this point, I'm now willing to entertain questions and comments from you guys out there.
Thank you very much, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Our first question is from Irene Ablaza. How do you create a culturally responsive learning environment in distance learning wherein engagement with students are limited?
Mm. Na-address na po natin yan. I think a lot of Department of Education experts have already mentioned about that. Ma'am, para po magkaroon ng cultural input sa ating mga estudyante is that dapat meron pa rin rules and regulations being applied at home. One of which would be the routines. Routines must be established still. The routines in the school establish a certain culture of discipline, a certain culture of submitting themselves to such authority and such structure. Kaya nga tinawag po natin ang school as pattern systematic social system. On that note, sa school din, sa bahay din, dapat kinausap natin mga magulang na ito po ang schedule ng mga anak natin. Ng mga anak ninyo, susundin po natin yon. Tapos ito rin po ang mga dapat po na mga certain limitations and possible intervention programs just in case our students violate or would not follow certain structure. Ang idea lang po naman talaga ng community context at culture is that it has a structure, it has rules, it has norms, it has laws that need to be followed. So, ang kailangan lang po natin sa school at sa bahay, dahil wala si teacher, hindi po kayo magagawa nun kasi nga limited. At this time po, limited ngayon ang pag-cultivate ng culture ng society, school culture sa mga estudyante natin. It's now within the hands of the people at home. But we need to educate and we need to orient our parents. That's why there is such thing as routines. These routines provide structure to our students to follow. These schedule provide our students with a structure that they need to follow and need to traverse over and continue on every day from Monday to Friday so that they would see that having a structure makes life more worthwhile. Life is easier if we have a structure. Without structure, life is boring. And that's how community context can be integrated in during this pandemic. Pakisabi na mayroong rules and regulations. And I hope you work with the parents, sat down together with the parents, and discuss with them what are the school regulations and and the classroom regulations that should be implemented at school at home. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Our next question is from Angelina Carpio Reyes. Should schools develop or improve the learner, or otherwise the school should either refer the learner to another school or modify teaching to cater to the needs of the learner?
Okay, thank you very much. A very interesting question. Ganito po yan. Ideally, the school should do everything to help the needs of the students. Talaga, kailangan po. But in cases where the capacity, the expertise of the teachers, may mga bata na sabihin na natin say genius. Mga bata na gifted. And then we found out that our school is not able or capable of addressing the need of the child. Then we have to refer the child, of course, with the you have to talk to the parents. Pero dapat meron tayong basis. May data po tayo na sasabi na talagang matalino siya. It went through psychological testing. Lahat-lahat ng test nagpapakita na talagang hindi po namin ma-address. Our teachers have not been trained with that. And then I think we will do more damage than good if your child will stay with us. So we are referring your child to another school who can understand a school that can address your child's special needs. Kagaya po ng mga special needs ng mga bata, the idea of inclusion, okay, inclusive education. If our teachers, our school is not yet ready for that, how can we implement inclusive education? Inclusion education, because implementing a program means we need to equip our teachers, and it cannot the equipping and retooling of our teachers of such kind of approach or such program. It will take more than just 3 days, more than just five days or weeks. It's years. Ganong katagal ang para matutunan ng mga teachers. So kung gusto natin na ma-address lahat ng mga pangailangan ng mga bata, there should be continuous professional development among our teachers. That's why we have the PPST. So on that note in your answer, yes. Kailangan gawin ng school muna na tulungan ng mga teachers para matulungan ng mga anak. Trainings, continuous training, a long-term program for our teachers to help their students. So better teachers, better learning engagement. Now, if case po na limited talaga ang ating school, then it's just humane and it's just right and it's just fair to the child to refer the child to a school who could address his or her special needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. That's all the questions we have for now. Any last reminders to our viewers for today po?
And this is not a reminder, this is a challenge. So teachers right now would like you to identify what kind of personality you have, and by the personality you will now be able to know how you can improve yourselves. Okay, as far as because community engagement and going beyond your responsibility as a classroom teacher in the linkages is going beyond being happy with taking on other responsibilities. And this is just a simple test. All you have to do, one, is pick at least 3 pictures. Okay, pick at least 3 pictures. Sulat niyo po ang number ng picture. Is it figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4, figure 5, figure 6, figure 7, figure 8, or figure 9? Okay? 3 po. 3. And then we're going to identify sa napili pong mga figure, there's a corresponding certain personality. Are you ready? Pili na kayo, ha? Okay, suppose you have chosen already. So if you choose figure 1, that means you are a carefree, playful, cheerful individual. You love a free, spontaneous life, and you attempt to enjoy it to the fullest in accordance with the motto, you only live once. You are very curious and open about everything new. You thrive on change. Nothing is worse than when you feel tied down. Nothing is worse than when you feel tied down. You experience your environment as being versatile and always good for a surprise. This is a good uh, personality for any individual but a teacher. Bakit po? Dahil si teacher po dapat cheerful but not necessarily playful and carefree. We are custodians of individuals. We provide structure to our students. So kung kayo po ay ganito ngayon, baka gusto nyo munang mag-tone down. Okay? Dapat magkaroon ng structure kasi ikaw yung klase na teacher na ayaw mo na may mga structure. you will be, para kang feeling mo nasasakal ka pag marami ng mga trabaho binibigay sa'yo. Pag hindi ka na nag-enjoy, or kaya hindi mo na na-enjoy ang Saturday or Sunday mo or yung gabi mo, you feel like you're contained, parang gusto ko na mag-resign sa pagiging teacher. Okay? Next personality po natin is figure 2. Independent, unconventional, and fettered. You demand a free and untouched life for yourself that allows you to determine your own course. You have an artistic bent in your work or leisure. Your urge for freedom or sometimes causes to do exactly the opposite of what's expected of you. Your lifestyle is highly individualistic. You would blindly imitate what is in. On the contrary, you seek to live accordingly to your own ideas and convictions, even if this means swimming against the tide. Reklamador ka. Unconventional ka, hindi ka susunod kung sinabi nila, oh, meron po tayo ngayong flag ceremony, ay, hindi ako attend. Required na umattend, ay, hindi ako attend. Kailangan mag-uniform, ayaw ako mag-uniform. You are this kind of personality, you always on the contradictory side because you believe that life should be lived to, you are an individual with individual needs and you cannot be contained. As a teacher, hindi pwede ganun. Pwede po natin gawin po yan in other aspects of our lives but not being a teacher. Okay? So, gawan po natin ng paraan. Because as we have defined today, a school is a pattern, structure, systematic, social system. And if we are part of that kind of definition of the school and we disrupt that system, tayo po nagsasabi, then we impose rules to our students and yet we violate rules. Ano yun? Anong sinasabi natin sa mga bata? Na pag sudyante ka, mag-follow ka ng rule. Pero kung hindi ka na sudyante, di pwede ka lang di mag-follow rule. Di ba? We always follow rules. Whether the rule is from the school or from the community or from the national government, still we follow rules. Rules are rules. Laws are laws. Figure 3. Introspective, sensitive, and reflective. Kung yan ang pinili mo, yan ka. You can come to grips more frequently and thoroughly with yourself and your environment than do most people. You detest superficiality. You'd rather be alone than have to suffer through small talk. But your relationships with your friends are highly intensive, which gives you the inner tranquility and harmony that you need in order to feel good. However, it's no problem for you to be alone for extended periods of time without becoming bored. Ikaw yung klase na very introspective. You have good friends. You select your friends. Pag ayaw mo na sa ibang tao na yan, ayaw mo na sa tao yun. That's one. Kailan po, maganda po ito, you can be a good teacher with this personality. You can collaborate with others. The problem here is that you need to control your urge not to respect someone you do not believe in or not to respect someone who has a different idea. You have that tendency here. Okay? So, control lang po natin, but you're on your way to becoming a better person. Remember that personality is static. Ibig sabihin, it changes through time. The more exposure we have with other people, with other personalities, the more that we are able to imbibe some of those personalities and become a more compounded, holistic type of personality that we have. So we need to go out. We need to socialize, teachers. Okay? Ganun po. And then figure 4, if you chose figure 4, down to earth, well balanced, harmonious. So you value a natural style and love what which is uncomplicated. People admire you because you have both feet planted firmly on the ground. You're so humble, okay? And they can depend on you. You're good, magaling ka, pero you're still humble. You give those who are close to you security and space. You are perceived as being warm and human. You reject everything that is garnish and trite. You tend to be skeptical toward the whims and fashion trends. For you, clothing has to be practical and unobtrusively elegant. So, ibig sabihin po dito, ikaw po ay very dependable. That kind of personality makes you a good teacher. Okay? You can work with others. You become a model. People will emulate you and respect you. Well-grounded ka. Alam mo kung anong tama, anong mali, but still conforming to conventions. Next. Figure 5. If you chose figure 5, you are professional and pragmatic and self-assured. You take charge of your life and place less faith in your luck and more in your own deeds. Okay? You solve problems in a practical and uncomplicated manner. You take a realistic view of the things in your daily life and tackle them without wavering. You are given a great deal of responsibility at work because people know that you can be depended upon. You pronounce strength of will projects your self-assurance to others. You are never fully satisfied until you have accomplished your ideas. You are an action-oriented person. You are you are you are mostly active based kind of person. So action oriented ka at hindi ka titigil hangga't wala ka nakakahanap ng tamang solution sa mga problema. And that would be a good teacher and can link other teachers and work with other teachers really well. If you chose figure six, you are peaceful, discreet, non-aggressive. You are easygoing yet discreet. You make friends effortlessly, yet you enjoy your privacy and independence. You like to get away from it all, be alone from time to contemplate on the meaning of life and enjoy yourself. You need space, you escape to beautiful hideaways, but you are not a loner. You are at peace with yourself and the world, and you appreciate life and what the world has to offer. Still good personality for you to become a teacher. You highly appreciate independence, your alone time, but still you take on responsibilities. Balance ka. You enjoy life, but you take on responsibilities. Figure seven. If you chose figure seven, you are analytic, trustworthy, self-assured. Your momentary sensitivity represents the which is of high quality and durable. Consequently, you like to surround yourself with a good chance, which you discover wherever others overlook them. This culture plays a special role in your life. You have found your own personal style, which is elegant and exclusive, free from the whims of fashion. Your ideal of which you base your life is cultured pleasure. You value a certain level of culture on the part of the people with whom you associate. Medyo mature ka na. Alam mo na kung ano ang taste mo, ano sa tingin mo ang tama. So hindi ka na masyadong, you are no longer, you're still rooted on the conventionality, but you have rise beyond that. Diba? You become a good leader. Okay? If you chose figure eight, you are romantic, playful, cheerful. You are a very sensitive person. You refuse to view things only from a sober, rational standpoint. What your feelings tell you is just as important to you. In fact, you feel it is important to have dreams in life too. You reject people who scorn romanticism and are guided only by rationality. You refuse to let anything confine the rich variety of their moods and the sorry po. You're a happy person, but you are highly motivated by your emotions. So logic sometimes eludes you. That would not be good for like meetings with teachers, with parents. You get to be emotional. Sometimes you take things personally. So medyo ayusin po natin if you chose figure 8. Medyo makisalamuha pa tayo sa other teachers. And finally, figure 9. If you chose figure 9, you are a dynamic, active, extroverted individual. You are quite willing to accept certain risks and to make a strong commitment in exchange for interesting and varied work. Routine, in contrast, tends to have a paralyzing effect on you. What you like most is to be able to play an active role in events. In doing so, your initiative is highly pronounced. You are a person who is always, it's mostly born a leader. You're outgoing, you are with a lot of people, and you lead people. And I believe this kind of personality could really work for community linkages and professional partnerships. Thank you very much. And at least you know your personality and it's something that you need to do for you to be able to improve your personalities. Again, remember that your personality is static. The more you socialize with other people with different personalities, but I would suggest that you socialize with people that you think are have have good contributions to society at doon mo po emulate ang inyong susunod na level of personality development. I would like to leave you with this holy scripture from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5 to 9. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Take to heart these words that I gave you today. Repeat them to your children. Talk about them when you're at home or away, when you lie down or get up. Write them down and tie them around your wrists and wear them as headbands as a reminder. Write them on the door frames of your houses and do your gates. Community context means positive behavior, good culture. Let us be teachers, the perfect epitome of the culture of the personality, of the profession, and the stature in society that we would like our students to become. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, and hope to see you tomorrow afternoon on the next trend that I will talk about on PPST Domain 6. Thank you very much, and good afternoon.
There we have it. In behalf of Viba Group Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker for today for this very eye-opening and insightful learning session. It is an honor to have you with us today, sir. And to all our Kavibao viewers, all thanks to you for your continuous patronage to our daily learning session. Don't forget to register to get your e-certificate of participation. We also encourage you to subscribe and watch on our official Vival Facebook and YouTube channel. Muli, maraming salamat at magandang araw sa ating lahat. Stay safe mga